much earlier in this campaign, back in August, the candidates were asked, will you support the eventual nominee on the Republican side, no matter who it is? Here's the moment from one of the GOP debates in Cleveland. Watch.
Is there anyone on stage, and can I see hands, who is unwilling tonight to pledge your support to the eventual nominee of the Republican Party? Raise your hand now if you won't make that pledge tonight. Mr. Trump.
In the end, Trump did actually make that pledge and said, I will support the eventual nominee.
But he was vilified for that moment, raising his hand.
Right.
Remember that. Of course, remember, he was the one guy who said, you know what, I don't know, if the party's not nice to me, maybe I'll go somewhere else.
You know, he also said, he spoke to ABC's This Week, which will play later today, but saying, you know what, I don't need these guys anyway. Let's listen to that.
Does the party have to be together? Does it have to be unified? I'm very different than everybody else, perhaps, that's ever run for office. I actually don't think so. I think that
it doesn't have to be unified?
No, I don't think so. I think it would be better if it were unified. I think it would be there would be something good about it, but I don't think it actually has to be unified in the traditional sense. Because I think I'm going to go out and I'm going to get millions of people from the Democrats. I'm going to get Bernie people to vote because they like me on trade. I have to stay true to my principles also. Don't forget, this is called the Republican Party. It's not called the Conservative Party.
And he took to Twitter to slam Jeb Bush and Lindsey Graham for basically saying they're violating the pledge that they made that night on that stage.
Well, the truth is he's not in control of this. The party is not unified. No matter what he does, there are some, and I'm not saying he's making a huge attempt to unify it, but even if he did, there are some people who just aren't going to vote for him, who are looking to recruit a third-party candidate, who are going to vote for Hillary Clinton. A lot of Republicans in D.C. will vote for Hillary because they agree with her more, or she's less a threat to their arrangements or whatever. So in the end, the only way he wins is by winning people who wouldn't vote Republican otherwise.
Well,
I think that's just true.
Yeah, and he said that's what he'll be good at, bringing people together and crossing the aisle. We know he has a meeting later this week with Paul Ryan and members of the House. He's got to prove that he can actually do that.
But does it really matter? Does it matter that he has to unify this amorphous Republican Party with all these octopus arms? Who cares? In the end, the American people care about what he's going to do for them.
It comes down to the voters.
Well, what he's done is blown up the Republican Party. He's challenged what they believe. He is remaking it. I mean, whether you're for it or against it, that's just true. It's a different party with Donald Trump in charge than it was with George W. Bush or Mitt Romney in charge.
And I think you have the elites in the party saying, we're losing control of this thing.
Well, they definitely have lost control of this thing.
Governor Huckabee on our show earlier this morning says it doesn't really matter. Watch.
He doesn't have to bring everybody together. Some people have already said they're not going to be with him. I mean, you've heard this from Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan. People said, you know, I'll never vote for Trump. Okay, fine, but a lot of people are. And I think when he says I don't have to unite the party, he has to unite the voters. And sometimes the voters go a different direction than do the elites. And that's what's happened in this election cycle. And so what we're going to see is a very different kind of voting mix. You've seen it on the Democrat side. That's why Bernie has done so well. He's shocked the Democrat elites, and Donald Trump has shocked the Republican elites.
Yeah, I think he's right about that one.
Very true. Well, President Obama gave the commencement address at Howard University, a historically black college, the premier